The Bernstein Bears and the In Crowd by Stan and Jan Bernstein. One sense of self-worth is often undone the first time one feels left out of the fun. It was early summer in Bear Country School. It had been out for a few weeks, and Brother and Sister Bear had settled into a comfortable routine of bike riding and playing ball and exploring and just generally having fun. They had chores, of course, keeping their room neat and helping with the yard cleanup. And when he got very busy helping Papa Bear in his shop, mostly they were looking forward to a carefree of summer and fun and relaxation. But sometimes the road ahead is not as smooth as you want it, as you would like. Sometimes there are unexpected potholes in road of life, and Sister Bear, as it turned out, was headed for a real-life wheelbuster. A wheelbuster is wheels popping. With school closed, the playground was a gathering place for cubs, for brother, sister, and neighborhood cubs. It had been swings and slides and a jungle gym. A track. There was a sandbox for little cubs. There were also jump ropes, frisbees, and soccer balls you could get from Miss Mac, who was in charge. On most days, Sister would stop off for our best friend, Lazy Broom, and they would go to the playground after a swing and a slide or two. They would get a jump rope from Miss Mac. Lately, they had been getting 2 ropes for double dutch. In double dutch, the jumper jumps in 2 ropes over 2 ropes that are being turned in the opposite directions. It isn't easy. But Sister and Lizzie and some of their friends had been practicing, and they were getting pretty good at it. And that's what was happening. The day the trouble started, Sister and Lizzie had 2 ropes they were looking for other cubs to join them. But where was everybody? Where were Anna, Millie, and Linda, their usual jumping? As they looked around, they spied a small crowd in the far corner of the playground. How about a little double dutch? Called Sister. Can't now, shouted Anna. There's a new cub with a terrific 10-speed bike, and she's letting us take turns on it. It sounded interesting. Even though Sister and Lizzie were a bit small for two-wheelers, they decided the new cub was not only had a pretty sharp bike. The new cub didn't only have a pretty sharp bike. It was purple and had 10 speeds and handbrakes. She was pretty sharp herself. She wore purple stretch pants, a designer top, a yellow headband, and hoop earrings. Her name's Queenie McBear, whispered Anna, and she just moved in the neighborhood. She had pursed ears. Sister pushed through the crowd and gave the newcomer, who was taller than her and a little older, a big smile and said hi. And Sister Bear and Queenie smiled too. But it wasn't exactly friendly. Sister Bear, she said, now what kind of name is that? And you've got to be kidding about with those clothes and a pink ruffled jumper and a hair bow. Well, said Sister, little confused. It's my kind of name. And for my clothes. Why don't you and your little friend go to play in the sandbox? Interrupted Queenie, not giving a chance to finish. Then she got on her bike and shouted, come on, gang. Let's go to the teddy bear for some soft ice cream. I jumped down the road. Jumpits, Anna and Millie and Linda looked a little embarrassed. But soft ice cream was soft ice cream, so they got on their bikes and rested with the rest and followed Queenie on the road. Now Sister was very confused and upset too. I don't get it, said Lizzie. All you did was say hi. I know what, she added, trying to cheer her up. I heard that Miss Mac was organizing a double dutch tournament with prizes and everything. Come on, let's go sign up. Sister Bear didn't even answer. She was so upset. She just turned home and went home. She turned and went home. She was usually so cheerful after the session playground. It didn't take long for Mama Bear to figure out something must have gone wrong. Papa Bear and Brother Bear noticed too. After supper, the whole story of Queenie came out, and her bike, her sharp clothes, and she made fun of sister, and then treated everybody to soft ice cream. Everybody except me and Lizzie, she said glumly. What did she make fun of? Asked Mama. My name, my clothes, my hair bow, me, she said. Oh dear, said Mama, that wasn't very nice. Not very nice at all. Maybe she was making an impression. Well, certainly made an impression on me, a bad impression. Of course, Mama had picked a cub, and she knew about in crowds, and cubs like Queenie, who try to build themselves up by putting other cubs down. But she also knew that it didn't give much other cubs down. But she also knew that she gave sister a hug. She didn't do much good to stew about it. So she gave sister a hug and said, Don't fret, sweetie. I'm sure things will look much brighter. In the morning, things did look much brighter in the morning, and Sister Bear was once again her confident self. She decided that today she would go to the playground and she would ride her trike. She wanted to ask Miss Mac about that double dutch tournament. It sounded interesting, and maybe Queenie wouldn't even be there. Queenie was not only there, she and her gang were riding around the track on their bikes, and when Sister tried to join in all she got for her trouble was a cloud of dust and more of Queenie's smart talk. Well, if it isn't Little Miss Pink, if it isn't Little Miss Hairbow on her tricycle. Excuse our dust, she shouted and whizzed past. Excuse her dust indeed, thought Sister. Getting an idea, I'll show that Queenie Bear. She plodded home as fast as she could. She hoped Brother Bear wasn't out riding his big two-wheeler, because that was her idea, to borrow his bike and go back and ride circles around Queenie Bear's. She managed to get on Brother's bike by standing on a step. But her legs were a little too short, and after a few wobbly circles, she crashed. Kerbomp! Oh dear, said Baba, who had just returned from a quick shopping trip to the mall and was watching from one of the treehouse windows. She had a pretty good idea to do with Queenie in the in crowd. "I guess you had another run-in with that new cub," she said. As sister came into the house, "Well, here's a little something to cheer you up." She reached up into a shopping bag and took out some new clothes and different clothes for Sister Bear. There were some very sharp jeans and a green and white striped designer top and bright headband. "For me?" said Sister. "Of course," said Mama. "Come on, let's try them on. You know," she continued as she helped Sister out of her pink truffled jumper and polka dots into a new outfit. "Maybe new things will change your luck." "Maybe," agreed Sister. But then she asked, "Mama, why did Queenie pick me out like that?" "Well," said Mama thoughtfully, "sometimes even grown-ups will show off the crowd by picking someone who has a certain kind of name and wears a certain kind of clothes. They try to build themselves up by putting others down. That's how crowds get started." "But how Anna, Milik, and Linda?" asked Sister. "They've always been my friends. Why did they side with Queenie?" "Maybe because they were glad Queenie was not picking on them. And soft ice cream is soft ice cream," she said, and putting on her new headband. "You're all set to have. Here, have a look at yourself in the big mirror." "It's very nice," she said, "and I really appreciate the new things. But there's one problem. It's not me. I like me." She stepped down. "I wouldn't change for a whole bunch of Queenie McBears." She then took off her new outfit and put her old one back on, and hairbow and all. She can keep in her old crowd. "Excuse me, Mama, I have to make a phone call." She marched over to the phone and dialed a number. "Hello, Lizzie," she said. "How about that double Dutch tournament?" The double Dutch tournament had gotten to be a big thing. A lot of teens signed up. There were even some boy cubs in the team. There was one along with Cousin Fred and the two tall gang. Brother Ware was a one along with Cousin Fred and the two tall gang. When Sister and Lizzie signed up, Anna, Millie, and Linda quit Queenie's team and joined Sisters. Not only that Sister was the best double dutcher in the neighborhood, but Anna and the others were getting a little tired of Queenie's snooty ways. Sister Bear led her team in a fine. Sister Bear led her team in fine and exhibition of double dutch jumping as had ever been seen in Bear Country. It was no contest. Her team won going away. Queenie's, who had made the mistake of wearing beads and the hoop earrings, got in the rope and ended up in a terrible tangle. After the prizes were awarded, the cubs congratulated Sister. They wanted her to teach them some of her double dutch tricks. As they lined up for lessons, Lizzie called out, "Queenie, how about you?" "No thanks," said Queenie with a little grin. "I've already had my lesson." The end. I'll be back in a minute and you could still subscribe if you want to. Bye bye. Thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe.